What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Let's Eat, the podcast. I'm here with the one and only Mr. Jason Allen Smith. Go ahead, man. Introduce yourself.
Hey, man. Jason Allen Smith. How are you?
Hi, man. He is the
nice to meet everyone.
He is the one and only owner of. I'm pretty sure there's more other people behind the scenes, but he is the face of Firehouse Gastro Pub out here in Grand Prairie, Texas, man. I just want to say thank you for bringing a place like this together to this town, man. It's an awesome idea. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, man. You called it a pub. It is a park. Not a pub.
Thank you. Hey, I'm all for the education.
You
man.
are the
learning.
You and everyone else calls it a pub because that makes sense.
Right.
But park doesn't. So the reason we call it a park is this green space out behind us was a big green field.
Yeah.
And it was used to be I guess what you call a police annex, where they store a bunch of stuff and do a bunch of police paperwork. And then they tore it down, and it was a green field with a big tree. And so we're like, man, that looks like a park. Let's make it something that's kind of like a park. And Firehouse Gastro Park.
Dang.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
We wanted FHGP to catch on. It didn't. It's just Firehouse Gastro Park. So
it's a work in progress. How long have we been here in the city of Grand Prairie, man?
2 years, man. We opened May 11th, 2019. And had a good sort of opening, partial first year.
Yeah.
A lot of fanfare with being the first thing on Main Street of this size, right?
For sure.
And they'd been working on getting it. They were trying to get something here, and then the guys fell out of love.
Yeah.
And
well, not
it
to
didn't
mention,
happen.
essentially, this is one of the first piece of nightlife, if you want to call it that, for Main Street, you know what I'm saying? So that's really interesting for me.
And it's got a, and this is Fire Station 1 for Grand Prairie, right?
Yeah.
So Grand Prairie had 1949 Art Deco fire station that they built here. They built it with across from the old City Hall. Firefighters built it. It was the stories of craziness that have happened here. Pretty cool. And so we were coming in to a place that, is part of. My grandfather worked there, my dad worked there, or I came there as a little kid and got to tour it and hang out. I'd visit him at work there.
Yeah.
We didn't know all of that stuff coming into it. My wife is the other owner.
Right.
And so it was really cool to get to be part of that GP story in that way. And
for sure. Because you're not a GP boy, right? You are from Baton Rouge.
I'm from Baton Rouge,
right? Yeah,
Baton Rouge, and then moved to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Went to high school there,
Nice.
and
yeah, man, I seen that you were quite the record holder back in the day. You used to clean and jerk mighty well, man.
You've done your research.
Yeah, I tried. two-time state champ, right? Or record holder at least.
Yeah,
for sure.
state champ. And,
sorry, I'm a meathead, so
there you go.
Hey,
all right, we can get meathead with this.
Yeah.
Man, I am an old meathead now in an actor's body. So, man, I was 240 pounds. My dad would be so proud.
I am right now, and my dad wouldn't be proud. So it's all right. I gotta meet you halfway. I'll meet you in the middle. But yeah, that is quite the tale. I seen that you had you were one of the only UCLA football players to hold a
Berkeley.
Berkeley. I'm sorry, Berkeley.
Yeah, Berkeley.
Correct. To hold like a performing arts major.
Yeah, no, I was the only dramatic art major then, and I did. So I would do plays and then go to practice and then back to doing rehearsals for plays. But the coaches actually showed up.
Yeah,
I had a couple of coaches show up to see me perform, which was cool.
That's so awesome. That's
I don't know if they liked it or not or what, but
I didn't know what I'm saying, what your direction was or anything. Right. But hey, you went upstairs.
That was it.
Yeah, just think of it like play action. Yeah, we're just trying to sell the play action.
That's right.
It's like, oh yeah, awesome. I get it now. No, that's what. It's funny you say that because, like you said,
you're a football player.
Yeah, I was a football player, but I was also wanted to be in like the school plays and everything. Yeah. So I was never on the main card, but I was always the ensemble. You know what I'm saying? So it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
I think a lot of the locker room antics certainly lend themselves to guys that would want to do something, whether it's funny, funny, or just constantly kind of you know, there's
just the machismo of it all.
Yeah,
just
totally.
Sometimes some guys in there are a lot bigger than when they, when they're
Yeah.
done hanging out with their friends.
Right. It's an uninhibited sort of place,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And a lot of times you don't have clothes on, right? You know what I mean? As
So
ridiculous as it is,
you're
you
in the
think
bear,
about it.
yeah.
You're just you sweat, you bleed with these guys, you shower.
Oh, yeah.
So people just, I think, let that sort of side of themselves of being like loud and playful and weird and whatever. And so I went to a very football-oriented high school, and I went there because my dad is a football fanatic.
Right.
So he made sure I went there so that I could have a chance at playing college football. And so I was from Baton Rouge, man, and like Baton Rouge is reserved. I was going to Catholic parochial schools. Like I didn't know those words.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about girls like this. I went into this locker room because they let 8th graders play with varsity.
Oh, okay, wow.
They wanted to like let you get beat pretty early. So I'm going into this thing with these kids that are, if they held back, they're like 19, and I'm coming in at, what am I, like 14, right? 13? And then you're going, whoa, these guys are so grown up. These guys have hair on their faces. They have hair everywhere, right? And so, so it was a trial by fire in that way. Like I started to learn what it was, and my mom was like, I can't believe we brought our baby boy to New Orleans. And my parents moved from Baton Rouge to New Orleans so I could go to that high school.
Nice, wow.
And so not to get too grim about it, it kind of cost my parents their marriage. I think they were
because it wasn't like a regular school though, right? It was kind of like one of those...
it's a private school,
right.
But they've got like over 30 state championships now. He's the winningest coach in high school football history that's still coaching. Yeah. When I was coming into it, there was like Michael Stonebreaker, who had played.
Well, how would you describe, I guess, your football career from like, you know what I'm saying? Man,
it was like, it was everything to please my dad.
Yeah.
From when I was little.
Right.
And it was, at first it was, okay, I'm not athletic enough to be anything but a lineman, I thought.
Right.
And then he made sure I got a chance to like see what it was like to be a running back or a linebacker. And he wanted me to be a linebacker. And then he hired the former strength and conditioning coach from the Soviet Union to come teach me how to run. Oh, yeah. Right? And make me faster. So by the time I hit 8th grade, I was a pretty seasoned guy, and I was a tailback and I was a linebacker. Yeah. And then I went to John Curtis, and I became in the rotation as a 9th grader on the varsity, and this is a big boy school. Yeah. And then I was a starter as a sophomore, and then 2 times All-State, 1 year All-American. Got to throw shot put in discus and compete in state all those years. And so athletics was like huge for me. I mean, what it taught me was like a deep level of discipline.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
and
good
hard
work ethic, for sure. And being able to emulate that and use your knowledge on that as far as like methods in method acting or just acting in general. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't realize, like, no, these guys aren't just, they're not, some people, most of the time, the really great ones aren't playing in a sandbox. You know what I'm saying? They have a reason, they have a work ethic behind their stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the guys and gals that you respect, they are there's a daily practice that they are working at. And I mean, I don't know, I think maybe football informs it in the way that you pick the hardest damn thing in the world to do, right? I mean, what are the numbers on people that are making money as actors? It's like less than 1% of the people in SAG are actually people you know, and 20% of them work, and everyone else is just paying dues to be in the Screen Actors Guild. It's a very hard endeavor, but and it's not something that is skill. There's skill and there's hard work, but it doesn't ensure success. There's some of the best actors you've ever met are in class. And you're like, how is that person not famous? Just like a band that you hear and you're like, how is that band not everything to everyone? And it's just that timing and luck, and someone has to, so many people chime in on, it's like a job interview every time. You go into a job interview. Well, this first person says, I think you might be good. Then you go to the next 2 people. Then you go to a committee of 10 before they decide that you get to play pretend. So it's interesting in that way.
And especially like you say that a lot of times, from what I've experienced, it's those 10 people aren't the ones that are creatively like pushing the story or pushing the narrative. You know, it's people the only time you'll ever see them is when the premiere's out there, or like come out every once in a while as far as the production goes.
It's suits, it's monies, it's numbers, it's all of that stuff.
Exactly.
And then they're chiming.
Now it's like algorithms and all that other stuff.
They're chiming in on creative, and they're deciding, you know what, he looks too much like my cousin. I mean, it could be as simple as like, don't love his eyebrows. Yeah. It's too pointy or something. Mine get a little thin. You know, so I need to.
My next question is on this second part of this origin story is like, all right, so you're ripping heads off at UC Berkeley. You know what I'm saying? You're coming across the middle, wearing people out. You go through a couple of injuries. I've noticed. Like you had a couple of things. You had to go redshirt for some surgeries and stuff like that. Man, what's that like, man? Going through because I mean, like I said, I only played high school football, so I understand the aspect of like being a part of the team but not being a part of the team. I know it's got to feel crazy on a higher level as far as like, you know, college football. You know, and I wonder what that could happen as far as like how would you relate that in far as like the process of making you know, creating.
Yeah, it was so. You know, you come from a high school that's so renowned, and you know, you have success. I mean, I think I lost 3 games in all of high school, right?
Yeah.
Got to play in 2 state championships. I mean, it was really cool. And then I signed with Vanderbilt because I wanted to go to a school that I like the SEC a lot. I'm from there, so. But I wanted to be at a school where I was inspired by like the academics of some of these kids. Like some of these, you'd meet a guy like Corey Chavis, consensus All-American, All-SEC. You'd meet a guy like, you know, Jamie Duncan. That these guys were Fortune 500 companies that they're interning with during the summer. Mind blowing. Like, what are you doing? We should just like, and then they're coming to practice. And so I was like
crunching numbers and then crushing skulls.
They're taking care of their future, right? And so, and those guys both play in the NFL, but I'm sure this all helped them in everything they're doing now.
Fully.
I think Chavis has got like one of the biggest sort of recruiting data pools that's out there for high school students going into college, and so I was inspired by that. I was like, well, these guys are so
that's
smart.
That's such a great field, by the way. That just came up from birth of the internet. You know, just collecting data on just certain players that are going to be. And now, like, I knew like Max Preps was for us in the Texas area and stuff like that. But just making that like, you know, as big company as it is. But yeah, like you said, just turning.
Well, and that was Vandy. So I took a visit to Vandy. I signed with Vanderbilt. I went to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt didn't have like a real winning mentality, but beyond that, I did not jive with my coach. Like my position coach got changed; it wasn't working. I don't think he would have signed me. And there were some other coaches out there that were like, I see this guy as one of my guys, and I want to help him. I mean, coaches have to get behind you; they got to teach you. You got to learn systems.
Like you could not be the best athlete, but like if he knows that you're a guy, you know what I'm saying? Just a guy that's going to be in there. Like at least if I'm not watching what's going on, he's gonna be like, no, let's go, guys, come on, let's do it up. Yeah, for sure.
And he could be a guy that, you know, if you fit into a system, and by then, like by the time I was coming out of high school, I gotten good enough that I had like 20-something offers. I got some great visits, some great schools. One of them was Arizona State, which ended up going to the Rose Bowl the next year. That coach had gone to Cal by the time I wanted to transfer from Vanderbilt. So then I transferred from Vanderbilt there. I have to sit out. So here's trial number 1 was like getting to Vandy, breaking my wrist, having to have surgery. Okay, cool. Now I'm set back. They start thinking, who's like, is this guy going to recover? Whatever. You already start setting your sights. These guys are about risk management in football, right? Sure. So then I come in and I play a season, and I'm mainly special teams, but I'm behind an All-American, Jamie Duncan. And they bring in another linebacker that ended up being like a 12-year vet in the NFL named Jamie Winborn. Winborn's a beast. And he came in, I'm like, and I already see how they're like looking at Winborn. I'm like, this ain't looking good for me. Right?
Yeah, you're starting to see the bigger picture.
I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work out. I don't know how I fit into this scheme too. It's 3 linebacker scheme, and I'm like, I'm not an outside linebacker. That's a 6'3" guy, right? And I'm maybe a will. But I don't know if I can run on the wheel route with a 4'3" guy. I'm a 4'5" guy. So I'm like, all right, I don't know how this is going to fit. I start talking to another coach that had recruited me to Arizona State that was now at Berkeley. I took a visit. I had one visit left, so I had to declare myself eligible. I get on a plane. I go out to Berkeley. I'm like, oh my God, I've never been to California.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? The Bay Bridge, the Golden Gate, like the sunsets, the fog rolls in. It's beautiful. It's green. It's like another world, and it's also kind of dangerous because there's from New Orleans, but I'd never seen people like shooting smack in an alleyway and like a People's Park and stuff. It was like it was interesting. So I decided to transfer. I transfer mid-year, go into a dorm, start working out. But I got to sit out. This is pre like transfer rules, right? I got to sit out. Not only that spring I can practice. I got to go into a season that I can't play, right? And then I'll have to have another spring before I'll ever hit the field, right? So I just pushed myself to become a real part of the team. Like, so I would practice harder than anybody. It wasn't that I'm holding back. I practiced harder than anybody, or as hard as anybody on the team. And so that next season, even though I was ineligible, I became a team captain.
Ooh,
right? Because I was practicing that hard. I was giving 1,000% at every practice to try to pretend to be the fullback on the other squad, or to be a linebacker on that team, or whatever. Because you're practice squad,
that's a
right?
big feat right there. You're a captain and you aren't even started.
It was cool. It was very cool of them to think, hey, Jason makes sense in this way, and he's a. So I loved that role, right? I loved that. I ended up getting kicked out of a game, even though I wasn't playing because I had to fight on the side. Right? You just gotta be all in, right? So then I came back, and then before that next season, I went into the next season as the starter. Well, let's say I was fighting for the position with another linebacker, but I was confident that it was going to be that I was going to get that spot, right?
I can tell.
Well, we'll see. I was going to get some spot. I would have started either at Mike or Willie on that team, and I tore my groin.
That's
right. And so now I'm out for another season, and then I come back, and so now I've got really one season left unless I appeal for another season, because I was coming back to play 2 seasons right after the transfer, and then 7 games in I separated a shoulder to a second degree, so
that was it.
I'm out again. That was it. So then I could have appealed for another season and tried to get that red shirt or the medical red shirt is what they call it, so you can get another season. Probably could have done it. I was old, man. I was like already, because I was 19 when I got to college, because I held back in high school because my dad was so fanatical.
How far into, like, I guess the 3 or 4 year like minimum, how far past it? So that's a total of like what?
Well, so I'd have been 2 years, technically a year and a half at Vandy. Then I came in, and then I was like I was a 5th year senior already, and I would have had to come back for a 5th and a half.
And then by that time you were like,
I was dramatic arts major. I was doing theater. I already found the love there. I was able to focus my energy in that direction.
So you were over here also, like, because I got to think about it, like you're over here like, pulling groins and like, separating your shoulder, but you also got to do, it's blocking tonight. We got to go do blocking, or we got to go run lines, like 8 to 20 pages of this and that. And even during that other year, I was doing a play, and I would do a play. So we would wake up in the morning. It's 5 a.m. You got to be at the stadium by 6, right? 5:36, and then you're working out. Then you go to class. Then you come back to finish your workout, because you never really finish your workout, right? It's like they don't make it so you can finish it, right? And
then you turn around and come back. Well, I could go to theater practice that night to rehearsal. I might be there till midnight, and then I got to get home and sleep and get back up in the morning and do it all over again. And so that doesn't seem that bad at like 18, at 19, 20, 21. Now that would kill me, but it was pretty grueling, but it was like exciting and wonderful, and I was so like blessed to be able to be an athlete that's also getting a shot to do theater and do plays and to participate. So after that eligibility was up, I made that decision. Sat down with my head coach, and he honestly said, listen, there's guys that I would just say, look, it's NFL or nothing, or you're going to be a coach or whatever. If you're not going to do that, and I know that you have other interests, and I know you have other options, you don't have to come back. He's like, I would love to have you come back. And you fight, and you probably be the starter next year.
Right.
If you don't want to play, like with all that's in you, then don't do it, because you beat up your body enough, and he'd been an NFL guy, and he's like, beat up your body enough, and you're a good dude that's got, get on with your life if you want.
He just saw the other directions that were
these are very
things that were pulling you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was also a guy. Tom Homo is his name. He played for the Niners. He's now Brigham Young's athletic director.
Oh, right on.
And he was a BYU grad. And I think that Homo was so reasonable. Like, you're never gonna get football from him.
Right.
He was gonna be a guy that's like, listen, life and then football.
Right.
What do you want to do? What's going on with you? And even though the next year, I mean, I think I would have started at Mike if I was healthy.
Yeah.
And he didn't care. He didn't care. He was just like, I think are you okay? What's going on with you? Yeah.
The person.
Like, where are you at?
Not number 53. Or what was your number, by the way? I love
51. It was a Dick Butkus. Wannabe. I was 42 in high school.
Yeah, I loved. I was not anywhere. He was not my like physical, like on the field idol, but Derek Brooks.
Oh, man.
Yeah, phenomenal, right? So 55.
Brooks, Brooks came out and talked to us at Cal.
Yeah.
Student of the game. I mean, he could watch. He's watching, and first steps, he knows the play.
Yeah.
And he expected. So that's the different level too, man. Like, I loved playing, and I loved the contact of it.
Oh, another good question is, like, speaking of those just like, because there's so many great. Everybody's a great athlete in D1 football, right? In D1 sports, and then of course there's other people that are like, yeah, that guy's going over there. Like, if you were playing Miami and you saw a linebacker named Ray Lewis, it's like, well, yeah, that guy. We know it's. All 53 of us or 100 of us against those two guys over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who was the best, I guess, with the best experience you saw, like, with your eyes on the sidelines? Like, dang, this guy, man. Because, like you said, you played with a lot of great people that went on to the league.
The best all-around athlete I probably ever played with is still a friend of mine, a guy named Andre Carter. He played defensive end with us. He's all pro. He's now LSU's defensive line coach.
Oh, wow.
He,
good for him, yeah. Right on, keep moving.
260 pounds of just ripped, like no fat.
Right.
And was a D tackle and a D end, like just a
the dirty
beast.
work.
Yeah, just incredible. And like such a great guy. I got to play against like Javon Curse. I got to play against Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
I'm old. I got to play against Werfel. Like all of those guys, like we got to see, and those guys were like, they were incredible.
Agreed. It was like, wow, there goes one of them.
I got to go head to head with Curse, and I was like, this guy's so much bigger than me. I don't understand how. Like, I can hold him up,
right,
and I can fight him, but like. The deck is stacked against me in this situation.
Tackle's gonna finish with you on the bottom, right?
Right. And I liked that. I mean, I got to be real strong without steroids, guys. I got to be very, very strong, and that was because of that Olympic weightlifting.
Yeah.
Like when I was able to, clean and jerk over 400 pounds, I was able to snatch well over 300 pounds.
Tell him, bro.
And compete.
Let them all know. Tell them, bro.
And so that made me able to. Like that gave me the snap. So I might have
that fast switch, man.
Yeah, I wasn't the guy that the 4.5 wasn't because of the 20 to 40.
Yeah,
it was from the 1 to 10 to 20. That's where my speed was. Everybody else was catching up to me. That was running a 4.5, and we crossed at the same time. But that was the fast switch stuff from that Olympic weightlifting that my dad wisely made me do. But look, man, I would never have been. Like, I wasn't going to be the one that was passionately in the film room at midnight with Derek Brooks looking at those first steps. Like, it wasn't that I was messing around. Like, I wanted to go, like, watch a film or eat some apple pie or something. Like, I don't know that, like, that's a different level of passion for the game.
Yeah, commitment for sure.
Yeah. And I loved playing, and I did what I would prepare and passionately prepare for each week. But there's a different mindset. That's the I mentioned Corey Chavis. That guy knew more about the game than anyone, and to my own fault. Like, I should have. Like, that would have made me a better player. I didn't have the wisdom to go, listen.
You could definitely say you had like the work ethic to do it, but you had that implemented in other things.
And it would be in the gym. I would be in the gym, or I'd be, I might be doing extra there, and I 100% did extra there on the physical side. But I wasn't.
You weren't a student of the game.
I wasn't like a student of the game outside of what I had to do.
Right.
I had to put in 10 hours a week of film for a game.
Right.
I could have put 20 in.
Right.
I didn't. I could have learned systems better. Like, I didn't. I was a starter. I did enough to do that, but it just could have been. I guess that's a regret, right? Like, I wish I would have just put it in. Like, I had some really crappy girlfriends. I mean, I had some shitty girlfriends I spent a lot of time with, and I'm thinking, I could have spent the time in the film room. I'd have been a better player.
But with your experience,
I was a shitty boyfriend, I'm sure, to them too. But,
listen, hey, even
we know
right?
you probably
back
talk
and
to
forth,
them.
right? Yeah, I've done my research, like I said. With that being said, man, the conversation that's gone up about Division I athletes on what the amateurism of the field, as not just in the big three or anything is talking about sports, but in general, what's your take on it as your past experiences, man? How do you feel these guys should be,
Yeah, I think we all want to be. I think we all know that we need a little more bread when it comes to like survival. Berkeley at that time was an expensive place.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. So you can live in the housing that they provide, and they give you a card, and you can eat at the different places on campus, and then you can eat dinner there, or you go to the football commissary and eat during the season, or during, they're allowed to feed you certain times of the year. There's lots of rules, and that's awesome.
So many rules. I saw like Oklahoma got like fined because somebody fed players pasta, and like it's whimsical to an extent, man.
It's
like,
crazy.
It almost where it's like you can only give them 8 fluid ounces per player of sauce. I'm like, calm down, guys. Like,
dude, it's interesting. Like, it's over sauce.
Yeah.
But it tastes better with only 8 ounces.
Yeah.
But
sure.
I think, I'm not against those rules because so many people want to abuse them, and there's so many people. Nothing wrong with this term. I'm not gonna use that term. Is this PG?
Yeah, man, we can go all the way. You can go R.
I mean, people call them jock sniffers, right?
Yeah,
the people that
sure.
like chase around athletes and think that they're perfect and that they want to take care of them. So, all right, my particular experience, I wanted to move off campus because I had some buddies. I want to live with my buddy. Let's get an apartment. Mm-hmm. They allocate a certain amount of money at that time, and still did up till recently. Okay, Jason, you get $1,000 a month. That's going to cover your rent and your eating. Plus your scholarship that pays for all your books and all that other stuff. So it's really whatever. And you can have a job these months of the year. That was the rules for us. It never went far enough. I ended up marrying a girlfriend so I could get married student housing that was really, really nice and live in married student housing.
Oh, man.
And I thought we would get my wife almost killed me. I thought we would be able to get an annulment immediately. So then right after you get... No. So this girlfriend was like, we got married, we got this student housing, it's incredible.
Right.
She says, I'm like, well, let's get an annulment now, or get a divorce. Let's file the paperwork. And she's like, well, you don't want to be married to me?
Oh, no.
I'm like, oh, boy.
Oh, the Venus flytrap.
I stayed married to her after we broke up. She cheated on me with one of my boys.
Right.
Cheated on me. We broke up. I stayed married to her. No, he wasn't. Stayed married to me until, because we filed the paperwork. She was supposed to write the check and file it, and then I paid the other bills. She did. Her check bounced. I thought we were divorced.
Oh,
I'm going to get married. I wasn't divorced until the week.
I feel
2 days before Carly and I got married.
This is like an All in the Family, like sitcom level. Like, oh, honey.
Carly almost killed me.
Oh my goodness.
She was just like, oh, really?
That's magical. You gotta you need writers to write something like that.
Dude, it was
hilarious.
insane. One other thing that my legacy includes is at Vandy.
Hey, be careful. They might pull a couple W's from you because statute limitations are good. Okay?
Good. I don't know that we had any W's. They got in trouble after I left for this. So I would all right, what I would do is they would give you a card that you could spend certain amounts of money on. You could buy anything in any of these little like markets. So I would buy cigarettes and I would sell them to the guys on the hall. Because I'd sell them by the pack, and I'd make money. Now and I'm monetizing my little commissary cash to get vendor bills.
Right on.
I taught it to the guys when I left. I found out that a year later, all of them were doing it, and they all got in trouble because it was like illegal. But I was like,
Rico act you on some commissary stuff, man.
Seriously. But
watch out, dude.
But but listen, it was.
Necessary evil,
all of it, man. All of these experiences, man. You're just a dumb kid doing dumb stuff.
Right.
And I think if you're going to pay athletes, then the rules even need to get stricter on everything else, right?
Ooh.
So if you're going to pay athletes, great. You're taken care of. You can afford your housing. You can afford your car payment. You can afford your insurance or whatever you got.
What's the excuse now, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
But here's the rules. You can't work for. I mean, like all of those rules, I would increase the scrutiny on everything. Otherwise, it turns into a professional athlete situation. You're going to have kids running around, and the ego can get so involved in the college athlete that I think you just reward them.
Well, because I hear what you're saying on the ego, but I also feel like as of right now, it's really kind of the only thing they have is the ego or the persona or the potential rising of said player. You know what I'm saying?
And the problem is that trying to, and just speaking to some guys that are, one of my best friends was Alabama's strength coach, and now he's at Georgia. He's their special teams coach.
Nice.
He was a strength coach for a long time, but he wanted to get on the field, so now he's a special teams coach. Those guys, like, a lot of those kids just need to learn responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, you're a kid, and you're an athlete that has hundreds of thousands of people watching you. They have everybody recognizing you at the school. You don't really want to go to class. You want to party and play football, right?
Yeah, not to mention a lot of, some guys got great backgrounds, and some of them have great,
challenging some of them.
Yeah, some of them are so challenging that, they aren't given opportunities outside of their schools to have a job. Like, there's no jobs around them, or people have been so dialed in on
money before.
Right? Our people have been so dialed in. It's like, no, you don't got to go to work, go get a job. We'll take care of this because you run a 4.2 and just keep going and keep going and keep going. That when it comes time
there could be
for
an opportunity to
responsibility,
teach kids civics.
Yeah.
Accounting.
Oh man, we're opening up a whole other bag of worms, man.
Right? If you're gonna be rewarded as a paid athlete now in college, maybe it comes with some baggage that makes you a better. Maybe it trains you for the next level of what do you do with your money.
Just like how I've seen what they do for the NFL. Like, all the rookies have to go to this big old symposium. And they let it all out. Like, hey guys, this is what's gonna happen to y'all. This is experiences that you're gonna have to see. Like, these big words mean this, and that. Like, don't sign anything that giving them the into the ropes because no one's probably ever done that for them.
I mean, there's so many stories of guys that are
so bad, bro.
They're getting
so bad.
$350,000 a week. Or $1 million a week, and they're broke.
Yeah.
All that goes out.
It's incredible. I couldn't imagine. I'd be running out of my shoes trying to figure out how to spend that much money. I couldn't imagine.
I would be running up and down the street naked.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah. Because you could get out of jail because
I could just
next
pay
Monday.
to get out of I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Arrest me.
So back to your journey, man. You turn in your helmet, you turn in the shoulder pads. You might have kept the jock if you wanted to. I never played with one. It's just uncomfortable.
I'm a jockstrap guy.
Yeah,
I'm a jockstrap guy.
Well, but see, that's another thing. They would always dudes in our
not a cup, a jockstrap.
Oh, okay.
Just a jockstrap. So
that's different.
We're going there. Listen, a jockstrap just holds everything close to the body.
See, I understand that, but
so it doesn't get.
See, but we had the girdles.
Oh, you had a girdle. Okay.
Yeah. So a girdle is I guess, but it didn't have the back blown out, basically. You know what I'm saying?
I had an ass out. Yeah.
That's fine, bro. That's fine.
And straps. It's got these little straps. It's got the sexy straps on the side of the cheeks.
Get it. Wasn't a fan. But like I said, we came in time for the girdles where you can put your pads in your drawers. Yeah. And I was like, thank goodness for technology. So I was asking cup or no cup because I was like,
no cup.
Yeah.
No cup because you can't run with a cup.
Yeah. And if you tackle somebody or you're under the pile, bro, you're getting more damage than anybody else.
I mean, I've had you've had
Oh,
in the
so
bottom
many.
of piles, some ugly stuff happens. Like people
man, we
are
don't
punching,
talk about
kicking,
it.
biting,
So many
hitting
eyes
you in the
gouged.
whatever
Oh my gosh.
eyes. Like it's
had somebody go up the nose and try to. Yeah, it was a rough one. Yeah.
It's a violent sport, and you have to be willing to.
Yeah.
You have to be okay with being a violent person in that sport, right?
Poetic chaos. Yes.
Yeah. And I've like, you know, hindsight's 2020. You know, there's a reason why, like you go to football camp and you practice and you get all ready to rock and roll, and then you come back and there's that 2 nights that we get to go out, and everybody gets in fist fights and drunk, right? Because you're pent up. You're teaching aggression, this pent up sort of like ability, this like endorphin dump all the time.
Not to mention you're most of the time you're doing it with like the other 10 other people, so once you go out with those 10 other people,
they got your back. They're like,
we're gonna take over this
brothers.
place.
We're gonna take this bar over, and it's why are we doing? Like,
we're lighting the town on fire, painting red.
Yeah, I mean, like fully. The bar fights that would happen were just crazy, and then something stupid like a guy's doing a flying fist and like breaks his hand, you know, and now that guy's out for the first few months or whatever. By the way, parallel to Andre Carter, Deltha O'Neal, who was also an All-Pro at Denver. Dude, that guy was magic. Go back and just Google Deltha O'Neal college punt returns.
Amazing.
And watch that man. I mean, just elegant.
Gallop, right? Like,
just a beautiful.
I love those, like watching him, or like watching, like, of course, like nobody can compare it to him, but like Bo, like just gallop across the field, and then people would look like they were running fast.
Yeah.
And then he would just
separate himself.
Amazing. So I mean, so back to our journey of Jason, man. So you hang up the cleats and everything, and so we're still in the lab, right? We're still creating. We're still making stuff.
So I hang up the cleats, and then I go immediately into. You can move stuff.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, push it. Push it.
That's cool.
You're fine.
Oh, you're next, right? So be ready. Okay. Awesome. No worries. We got makeup and everything in the back. We'll be fine.
So I immediately go into like, okay, well, all right, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this, and I try to drop weight. So I start dropping weight. Probably drop like 15, 20 pounds pretty quickly. I just...
And that was a personal thing? Like you were
I just wanted, like, I'm like 240. I'm like uncomfortably big all the time.
And plus having to keep that...
And I'm lifting all these crazy weights.
Eating all this food.
Eating all this food. So I just start to try to drop weight and like get to be a little more normal. And I audition for a play. I end up getting in. I start taking a couple of classes that I wanted to that I hadn't taken before. Auditioned for a main stage production, which was a big deal. I'd done one before while playing, so then I get a great part in this amazing ensemble that includes Chris Pine, Captain Kirk, none other than the famous actor Chris Pine, and I work with this incredible director, and we get to tell this great story, and I learned so much, and I'm just doing my thing. Like I actually have a college experience that year. I broke up with that girlfriend that I didn't know I was still married to. I broke up with my wife. And what I did, Berkeley can't really get me on this one. I was able to, I called two of my buddies. So I called this guy, Derek Zoller, who's still one of my best friends, and and our center on the team. And I was like, hey, I didn't know if Derek was going to keep playing, but Nolan, who was the center, I know was going to keep playing. But I was like, listen, do you want to come in and live in the married student housing? Because I still have that license on. So I was able to get a 3-bedroom.
Nice.
And I moved 2 football players in and myself. We were paying a really cheap rate, so I worked the system on them.
You were doing it, bro.
And then we were just like having a great time. So then, which was really cool, man. I started bringing all these theater kids around these football players, and there was like this intermingling of like, football and they were fascinated by that, and the theater kids were fascinated by football, and there was like this great intermingling of that, and. I think from there, that program actually spit out another. Robbie. God, what's Robbie's last name? He's freaking a basketball player from Cal that has a big career as an actor.
Nice.
Pine came out, obviously. Invir Jokai. A couple other folks that have really done some cool stuff in film and television have come out of that program. Such a bunch of smart kids,
That's awesome,
mind-blowingly smart kids, writing great theater, producing, directing, and so full tilt acting for the rest of that year and partying and having fun and having a real social life and lying to the to the university and moving to people and drinking beer in my family home.
Right.
And so...
I mean, families drink beer. It's all good. Yeah.
I think they do. Coors Light was always on special. I remember at the Andronicos or wherever we would go. And and then I auditioned for dramatic art MFAs, Masters of Fine Arts. Was going to go to an Ivy League program, Brown Trinity, and had a scholarship for it. And I was like, man, I am so old. Like, I'm 24, 25 years old. And I'm like, if I go to that, it's going to be a 2 or 3 year process. And then I'm going to go to Los Angeles or New York and try to start a career. Right. And Pine and I were down to get an apartment together, and he went off to RADA to do a summer. And I was like, look, I'm going to just go live with my sister in Orange County. My sister had moved to Orange County.
Right.
I'm going to go work as a bouncer and I worked as a bouncer and then worked in a movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
When they still were looping the long thread through, I learned that technique and just ate popcorn all day and watched movies. Nice. I did nothing there. I have no idea why they didn't fire me. And then I just spent a summer doing that, and then we moved to LA, got an apartment, and started hitting the ground running.
Hit the ground running. What's that process like, man? Is it I want to know some of the just some of the sweaty, grimy days at LA where it's okay, I got to be here at 11. I got to be say a couple lines. I got to be here at 2. And
That's great insight, dude.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. You definitely did your research because people don't think about that stuff.
Right, because there's so many days. I know, with me and him creating content, to where I don't talk to anybody, or I send out 18 emails to people, and I won't hear back for 4 or 5 days, or I'll get an automatic, hey, we're not busy right now, we're a little too busy.
Right.
There's days where nothing happens, and then there's days like today where we wouldn't talk to somebody else early this morning.
Better interview, a better deal. It's a lot more fun.
No, I like I said, I am. My toenails are sunk into the ground, man. I've been so excited to speak to you,
me
bro.
too.
But
me too. I'm honored to be here, man.
It's an honor to be here. Like I said, bro. But like I said, there's a lot of grimy days to where you might be reading lines for somebody just because they needed somebody to sit in.
It is a balance of being scared shitless that you're doing the wrong thing. Okay, you went to dramatic arts school, or you went to a dramatic arts program, you think you're a good actor, and then you get down there and you're like, I'm not a good actor. I better get into a class. And then what class do you get into? And then you start researching. I'm like, oh, Brando studied from this guy. That's
another good question I want to ask. Because
I'm the people that I want to be like, and then you think you have your kid.
And there's so many Stanislavski methods and so many
all
other
these
books
methods, right?
And stuff.
And you're like, oh my God, okay, what's gonna make me good?
Yeah.
And make me get work, and let me do this. And you're like, there's this quiet bit of insecurity shrouded in this false ego and confidence that you're putting out. And Pine was awesome. His dad, who was the captain on Chips, he got me my first agent opportunity. So I went in for an agency, and they call me and they're like, listen, we're doing a favor for Robert Pine. He's a good friend of ours, but we're never going to sign you. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'll just come in for the interview. Right. And I went in and I just hit it off. This woman, Ginger Lawrence, was just such a sweet
Shout
lady.
Out Ginger, thank you so much.
She was amazing. She spends her life in philanthropic endeavors now. She's not an agent anymore.
Awesome.
She just became a person to help the world.
Yeah.
And she came in and we just hit it off. And she's like, all right, we'll hip pocket you. We weren't going to sign you, but we'll hip pocket you. We'll put you out there. And then I went into SBV, Sudden Barth and Venari, and the same thing happened. We hit it off, and next thing you know, Pam said, you know what, we're going to sign you at SBV. And I'm like, what? And so I had agents all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And how did this happen?
What?
I have agents. This happened really quickly. So now it's like, do the work. How do you support that by doing the work? And a great mentor at Cal had sent me to this one guy's class, Richard Side, I think was his name, but I just didn't understand what the frick he was talking about. Like, I didn't understand. I was like, it's like some trigger method. And I was like, this shit doesn't make sense.
Right.
So then I went to the big person who. There's gurus, right? LA has gurus. There's people that, Jake Gyllenhaal works with this person.
Right.
And Ivana Chubbuck was a big name. So I went to Ivana Chubbuck's, but here's the football thing. The football goal stuff comes in. It's okay, you go in the junior class, you don't get to work with Chubbuck. Well then, what's my goal?
Yeah.
I'm going to work with this person for 3 scenes, and then I want to be in Chubbuck's class. And then I want to work in there for a little while, but then I want to be in the showcase night on Thursday nights that all the beasts are in, right?
Like, I'm only scout defense right now, but I want to be first team.
I want to be first team.
I want to be varsity. Yeah.
But the problem with that is that's all bullshit when it comes to acting.
Yeah.
Like, acting is about, like, the removal of self and egoless and I don't know, and vulnerability, and there's all those egos, and that all seems good, but for me, it wasn't that. Like, that's muscle, and that's like muscling it and making it something that I can control or whatever. And acting needs to be like, I'm sitting in front of you and I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna ask me right now.
True, and it goes to show, because I'm pretty sure you probably experienced it when you've seen somebody, or you see somebody doing lines or doing something or doing a piece, and then you go to ask them, it's like, hey man, where'd you work, or who have you worked with, and it's like, nobody.
I don't know. Nobody. I just use my imagination, right? And so then all that stuff, I was like, I didn't know. So I went through that process with Chubbuck.
Are people like that, or experiences like that, are they kind of like, I don't want to say humbling, but it's kind of like just like shock your world, because somebody who you worked hard to try to figure out these methods and these techniques, and then you see somebody who's just like, okay, what's my scene? What do we got to do?
But see, the thing that I'm rewriting history a little bit. The thing that I knew was, when I just played pretend, there was a freedom and a life to it. When I got out of the way of doing it right or anything, historically, it was alive. So Chubbuck taught me that wild abandon, like, just, I don't give a shit. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I can be in my skin anywhere and do, right? Yeah. And I got to that showcase night, and I was one of her guys. But then I remember I tackled a story where I had to be truly vulnerable. Yeah. Truly exposed and vulnerable. And I didn't have what it took. I didn't know how to tackle it. I didn't know how to get at it. I could fake it. I could stew something up, make myself cry or whatever, but that's not life. And so then I started my searching in, because I was like, I'm not ever going to be anything truthful or real unless I know what this is all about, this artistry that I keep saying I'm an artist. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm a mechanic right now. Yeah. I'm like, I have abilities, and I'm funny, and I'm fun, and I'm confident, but I'm not an artist.
It's the best way I like to describe, like, being me and my buddy, we've been working in the back of Cushion's for the past 15 years, so we're great cooks. Yeah. Like, we're cooks, so it's like, you wrote down a recipe for me.
We can crank it out.
We can crank it out, bro. It's gonna taste great. It's gonna taste just like this. Right. But as far as like the chef title, I'm not a chef. I'll never take that. I'm never gonna say I'm Chef Ojeda until I earn that, because there's a whole other level of creating that it's like from the ground up.
And it's that expression and the confidence to express and to author that stuff. Mm-hmm. Also, could you tell him to put his pants back on? It's just like...
Yeah, bro. Like, you're gonna look too excited here.
Yeah, I like the underwear.
Tablecloth, There's no tablecloth. We forgot the tablecloth. Okay. But he's in his natural form. He feels nice. He edits good. Just like that, too.
He feels good. He feels free.
He edits and everything.
It's vulnerability.
Everybody's being vulnerable today.
So I went from there to Diana Castle's class. Yes. And it was about... So instead of...
And so what year are we talking about from Miss Castle?
Shit. Maybe like 2007, 8 or something like that.
Right on.
I go to, and I'm booking work. I'm getting stuff. I'm doing episodic TV. I'm doing movies or whatever.
Vegas and everything. Right. Yeah. But one of my favorite shows.
Oh, it was awesome, right?
So many great actors, like Dumal. What's the older guy's name? Oh my gosh, I'm having a blank.
I made the bloopers reel on that, because in that episode, they come up to me at the catering. Yeah. I was eating. Yes. And they're like, "Hey, Steve, we got you." And so the stunt which was interesting. An amazing stunt coordinator
Yeah.
who I would work with many years later on another movie did the stunt thing. He was just like, he's an old time badass guy.
Right.
He's just like, all right, so you just try to grab his jacket, and then, Jason, why don't you just spin and slip out of it? Can you do a fall? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do a fall.
Oh, that's
And
another
he's
good
like,
question. Since you have an athletic background, like, what's the difference between having, like, I played football to where, like, no, I'm a stuntman, like,
huge difference.
Right.
Huge difference. Now,
Like, you could take a tackle, but, like, those guys.
Well, they know how to not kill themselves,
Right.
and they know how to do it beautifully, make it
Right.
look awesome.
Right.
Like, a punch comes from here. A punch from me that was
it's gonna come-
boxing
it's
in
right
college
here,
comes
yeah.
from here, right?
Oh, fully.
Because that's efficiency.
Right.
A punch comes from here because it looks good.
Yeah.
Pop. Like, they want to see it snap,
Yeah.
right? And they want to see it wind up,
Yeah.
right? And you're going to get hit 6 times by the time, right? But, like, and even the stuff that's really efficient, there's a flair to it. There's an efficiency to it.
So when they ask for something like you were about to do, like with the fall and everything, it's like,
He
what do you
know
think?
what? He vetted me
Yeah.
there, and I don't think he wanted to bring in a guy to do like a fall and hit a table,
Yeah.
and me once again being kind of a loudmouth with an ego. I'm just
got
like,
it.
I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah,
bro,
let's
I
go.
got this.
Come
Like,
on, 10
I'm
takes,
like,
let's
I
go.
played, I
Let's go.
played football in college, and I do
we
all
need to
this stuff.
reset the camera?
You want me to hit this stuff?
Yeah,
Let's
come
do it.
on.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
But when DeMel grabbed me and I spun around, one time we got kind of locked up.
Yeah.
And so I just tackled him, picked him up, and ran with him, and it ended up making the bloopers. And because I made the bloopers, they had to send me the bloopers tape.
Oh,
So I
right
still
on.
have it
So you
somewhere
got
where
that
we're
on
just
your-
like
on your
all
reel?
laughing and I'm running around.
Yeah.
Hit a great ass.
Yes, did he?
Yeah, Josh Duhamel had a really great butt.
I think he would.
I
would
didn't
imagine.
grab it with both hands,
Right.
but it was there.
I mean, he got to wear suits all the time, so at least
man,
on that show, so he
phenomenal
was always
butt.
showing it off.
Phenomenal
Man,
butt.
so
But so I get to the point where
you're doing shows, you're doing series.
I'm doing stuff, but I'm not. It's never feeling real. Like the
Right.
quiet secret I have at night is that there's glimpses of that, but I don't know what it is to really be an artist. Like I'm saying I'm an artist, but I always know that I'm pushing that.
One of the biggest ones that I love to hear, because I like to watch like actors roundtables and like Sam Wilson when he does black and whites interviews, on
Yeah.
YouTube. I love watching those.
Yeah.
But one of the most common things they say is like, yeah, because even they're headlining, they're first on the call sheets for all these shows. They're doing these Marvel movies, and they still say, I lay in bed at night and I close my eyes and I think they could be stopped looking
This
for
is
me.
it. This is the last
They're not
one.
looking for Jason anymore.
They're not
They're not looking
right.
for Brie Larson anymore.
Well, history shows that that's true.
Yeah. I mean,
But that stuff, like I don't know that I was tracking. I was having a good time, but I wasn't partying. I was defining myself as I don't need a girlfriend because, I still had baggage
You're
because
trying
that
to do
girl
that.
cheated on me. I'm like, I'm gonna
And you were
cheated
still
on
married.
me. I'm married. I didn't know that, but I'm out there like doing whatever, and I'm like trying to just have a little bit of fun, but really stay focused and.
so you were rolling with your entourage crew, like Turtle, Drama.
None of those guys. None of those guys. And nobody. I had one friend, and so I find Diana Castle, and I start to get the sense of it.
Yeah.
I had booked a movie before that. I'd done a movie with this guy, and I'd had a really wild, fun time.
Yeah.
And it didn't ask me to be vulnerable. It just asked me to be fun and have a good time. I did an okay job in the movie. Well, this guy hires me for another movie, and I just got into Castle's class. I'm watching somebody in my class, and I watched this guy. You hand me that book?
Yes, of course.
So
Let's get in there.
she says, "Listen, you're going to here's the process. Hey, listen, Doug, I want you to take on pages 88 through 89, actually 88 through 93. I want you to absorb those, and I want you to absorb the same pages. To absorb means same thing, yeah. And I want y'all. We're gonna come and play. You're gonna between scenes, but we call them conversations. Between scenes, you can go outside and absorb. You've never read this before. You've never taken it in. And then later on, we're going to put up the conversations, and the book's going to be here. So if you need the words, you just look at it. Oh, that's what I say, right? And then you're going to play, and then that's what I say. So I watched Doug, and it was like seriously 10 pages of the Crucible, the Crutchable, for God's sake.
Oh,
We're talking about dense, deep, heart, Everything.
It's funny you say that though, because
I'm
I
making
love
a lot
the
of noise. I'm
Crucible.
sorry.
That's cool. That's funny you say that. I love the Crucible because I love that last monologue from the father where he talks about his name being the only thing he has, and if he actually admits to being like, oh, sorry, that's going.
Yes.
We're going real deep, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I watched Doug, and Doug puts his, he opens his book to page 88,
Yeah.
or whatever he is, and he puts it down, and he sits down, and they start to have a conversation in the story. He never picks up the book. They do 8 to 10 pages. He never picks up the book. He's never looked at before. He absorbed it between. We're talking like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe he got 30 minutes all day to absorb. Now look, we run in with our papers in our hands, still trying to memorize our lines and do good in these
Right.
auditions. And he's just absorbed 10 pages, and he has a life that is full. Okay, right on. He has a full life that is exposed and vulnerable and dealing with someone else. And he never looks at the book, and I go, oh shit. I want to be like that.
You just saw.
I want to be
yeah.
like that's an artist. Like that's a guy that's playing on a different level than I am. So I recommended him for this movie that I'd just been cast in. And the director looks at his tape. He's like, God, that guy's a great actor, but he's the wrong age. He's the wrong whatever. He's like, send me another tape. He sends him another tape. He ends up getting cast because the guy, he kept sending these baller tapes. He's like, I got to hire this guy.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna rewrite the part because this guy's so good.
Man.
So on the flight over there, this guy's in class with me, remember?
Yeah.
I learned more about that way of working from him
Yeah.
in the flight and on set than I was learning in the class working that way. It just wasn't resonating with me. Diana Castle's an amazing teacher.
Yeah.
It's an amazing way of working. I just wasn't receiving it. I had dyslexia, man. I don't know, whatever it is.
my
Like,
brother.
you know what I mean?
Yes,
Like, I don't know if I just wasn't hearing it.
I
My
get it,
ADD
man.
was all over the place. I
Yeah.
don't know. But Doug was able to kind of translate it to me. So then I'm like, man, I wish you had a class. He's like, actually, it's funny. I do have a small class. So
Whoa, like teachers learning from other teachers, and they
teachers
just go
learning from
learn-
other teachers
go
and start
help
other
train.
teachers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so I started studying with him, and I studied with him ever since. What is that? 2008 or
Yeah.
whatever we're talking about. I
You still go
studied
check
with
him
him
out?
over Zoom
Yeah.
all 2020
Nice.
because I couldn't be in the class anymore, and they couldn't be in class, so I got the luxury of COVID. I got to be in a Zoom class.
Right. Is that a? I guess it's not to say thank you. You're
Yeah.
never getting comfortable, but you're always learning. Is it that type
Always
of thing?
learning,
Like-
and it's always like, so the way we work in that class is you take on a story and you might work on it for 5 months, and it's to simplify it. You absorb the story as I am. That book's about fish. I am fish, right?
Right.
Oh, what happened? What's going on? Oh, I see my wife fish. She comes in. What do I say to her? Oh, I say, hey, babe. Oh, well, if before that I've been told that I haven't spoken to my wife in a month, fish wife in a month, I take that in first. Oh my gosh, I haven't spoken to my wife in a month. What's going on, man? What's
Right.
going on with us?
Yeah.
What's going on? And I think about that, and then I accept that I am a fish. Like, this is my world. So it really becomes I am under the influence of I'm in the fish world that I haven't spoken to my wife in a long time.
Yeah.
And then and then dealing with my wife.
Right.
That's the simplification of all of this. I'm not thinking about that one time I got real sad when my dog died.
Right.
I'm not thinking about, well, this is a lot like my life. It ain't shit like my life.
Right.
I'm a fish. Right? But you know what it is? What is it to be a fish?
Right.
It's to deal with my wife and to get some food and like, man, there's these other fish that are like really mean in here, and like I got to stand up for myself. What am I going to do? And then I wish and I worry and I wonder about how am I going to stand up to those fish? So then when that fish in story, I know this is heady shit. When that fish in story comes over to me and he goes, "What's up, dude?" I'm like, you know what?
Yeah,
I know what's up.
Oh man.
And I don't have to make that happen.
Right.
I know what's up because I've been worrying about that fish taking my food.
Yeah.
I've been worrying about that fish stealing my wife.
Right.
I've been sad that my wife hasn't talked to me. I don't have to. When she comes to me, she's like, you know what, babe, I'm sorry I haven't spoken to you in a month. I don't have to make tears happen because I'm like, oh my God, babe, I love you so much. I wanted to talk to you.
I've been waiting for someone to say this.
If you just think about, I'm going to see my dad for the last time on his deathbed. It's not my dad that I'm thinking of.
Right.
If you just say that to yourself and you say, oh my God, I gotta go see my dad. Man, like it starts to, you feel it engage your heart, you feel it engage your stomach, and you just think about, what have I not told him? What have I not said? What can I say? That son of a bitch, he treated me like shit my whole life.
Yeah.
I don't want him to die and not know that I loved him and that hurt me, right? If I think about that for 5 minutes, like Doug did with the book, and then I absorb what I say to him, I can play.
Right.
It's getting over the mentality hurdle. Am I going to be enough? Am I going to cry? Am I going to this? Am I going to this? Am I going to be good enough for your camera?
Right.
That's all the stuff that gets in the way.
Right.
If I'm focused on what's at hand, my dad or my fish wife, that's going to take care of everything.
Yeah.
That's going to take care of everything you need to worry about. Now, if I put the Daniel Day-Lewis level work into it, if I put Michael Jordan level work into it, if I put 10,000 hours, if I put 1,000 hours, let's put 50 hours into the fish story.
Yeah.
50 hours of thinking about the fish world. Do you think that I can't walk into the fish world and be like, let's dance, fish? What are we doing? Like, what's going on here?
Bro, yeah.
I got something to say to you, fish. I got something to say to you. Where are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Bro.
Like all of that stuff. So it doesn't become about the lines. It doesn't become about beats or any of that stuff that's not human. It's like, it's diving into trying to find what is it to be human? What is this humanity of all the same? We're saying all the same stuff, man. Like, we're all trying to connect. We're all trying to like be seen a certain way, see others, attract, be attracted. We're all trying to do all that stuff. So if it starts to feel not human, and look, I'm not saying I don't have this figured out. I still have a battle of like worrying about, and this is all that dyslexic baggage.
Oh yeah.
I have a battle of like, will I know my words?
Yeah. I sit at night. I sit in my bed at night looking up to the sky, thinking if there really is a dog or not. That's my horrible dad joke for the podcast. That's one, and we're done. But so we're out there, we're doing work, we're not feeling comfortable because, like you said, you were so humble enough to say, like, man, this can get swept from under me at any times. You know what I'm saying? Where did you see a gastro park?
Yeah.
In your career, you know what I'm saying? Because you're still trying to
side hustle,
trying to make your things happen. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like a phony saying side hustle because it wasn't even a term when I was doing it. But like, so you might make 100% of your money as an actor. I mean, there have been so many. Before the side hustle became a big thing for me, I was working in catering. I jumped on a catering company to make some more money. I was working as a trainer because I had all this football experience, Olympic weightlifting experience. So I'm training people private, not at a gym. I'm, playing grandma's babysitter really because I'm teaching these grandmas how to do back squats and stuff. And then I'm working catering, and this guy Alan Dunn is like, well, look, you speak well and you seem to like have a leadership quality. Why don't you be a captain? Okay, I'll be a captain. I had a hard time being on time then, but he still let me do it. Next thing you know, without training, I'm running like $100,000 parties. Next thing, I'm running $1 million party at the mansion, at the Weinstein mansion in Malibu, where they fly in 50 people.
So whenever you have these big old gatherings, man, this is like a scrimmage for you then, compared to like all this stuff you've done, man. This is ridiculous.
Dude, that stuff is such high stakes. Yeah. Over there, it's like 7 courses. It's wine pairings with every course. It's people that they buy one piece of jewelry. Yeah. The whole party's paid for. One piece of jewelry has to be sold, like there, and there's models that are on runways that are walking around with the jewelry. They're being paid thousands of dollars for the night.
Man, this is literally La La Land,
but that food's got to happen right on, right? I got to run the Will Morris Endeavor Oscar parties.
Well, like you said, Rose,
Ari's house. Yeah. I ran the parties in Ari's backyard at Ari's house. Ari Emanuel.
That's amazing, bro.
So, like, all those people in all of that world, that's a whole different world. I mean, and at the same time, you're trying to become them. So it's a mind trip, man. You're like...
Yeah, man. It's kind of like fake it till you make it. But
It
then, like,
is.
it's also that scary feeling of, like, once they smell it, they're...
Dude, I ran...
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, one time, I was at... it was at Madonna's manager's after party for the Oscars, and I was running a team that was doing a bunch of stuff with Gucci there, and real Gucci, not like the cool term, whatever that means. Everything's all good, and so here comes out of the Bradley Cooper's already come out. He's just done American Sniper. Here comes somebody else.
Oh, that's fully jacked Bradley Cooper then, because he got super brolic for that movie.
But he's kind of starting to lean out, so he's just looking real handsome and buff.
Of course.
And like all these like beautiful people are coming out, and I see my buddy Chris Pine coming out. And I just said no. I just turned and I went behind a hedge.
Oh, you ducked?
I ducked.
Why, man?
I wasn't
Why?
going to hand him the Gucci bag, man. I was just like, and
hey, have a good night,
that was a
sir.
moment of pride. I was just like, I'm not going to confront, I'm not going to see Chris. You know, I should have done it.
Is that like the worst one, with the duck behind the bushes scenario?
That was the only time I think I did that.
Okay.
Every other time I would kind of insinuate myself into these conversations with these people and just treat them like everybody else.
Yeah.
I just couldn't face Chris that day. I was feeling kind of
It's a rough one.
weak.
Yeah.
I was just like, I just can't do this today. LA's crazy. I mean, like when I was working at a hotel there. Before that, I worked at room service at the Mondrian on Sunset.
Wow.
And for years, Jamie Foxx would order like $1,700 in room service and tip us $500.
Yeah.
Like I would do some crazy stuff at the Sky Bar. That was the place back then.
So with your history in La La Land, man, what is your? I guess what do you have any like surprising stories where it's like, oh man, here comes so and so. It's probably gonna be like, have you ever been pleasantly surprised by somebody that you thought was fully like Hollywood, and it was like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
well.
I mean, I did Johnny Depp's engagement party. That marriage did not work out.
Oh no, was it with?
Yeah,
that
and,
one?
and she was a delightful.
I don't know.
I don't know what she is in life, but she was a delightful person to work with on that.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp was super
I've heard
sweet, easy. Like
angel.
none of those, neither of them were any egos or whatever. This was an intimate party that we did, and we ran. Carly and I ran, and Carly's. That's the foundation of our relationship comes from being in catering, and her being a captain with me. So we would plan out our captain execution and do that together.
That's awesome.
And like when you work hard with somebody, you need me. Need me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Change. Can you make it here? Can you make some with that or her? Do you need? It's a drop? Just put it in the safe. I trust you.
I do too, Rita. Go ahead. We appreciate you.
She must have hurt herself. Huh?
Yeah. She said she fell in a hole, like a water, like a spillway hole or something. Like where there's like some driveways where they'll have the big old pipe and you got to drive over it. Something like that or something. I don't know. I didn't get the whole story.
Here, not being sued.
No. Yeah. I look. They look good.
She wouldn't sue me. She's really nice. I had really interest. Like there are celebrities that I can't mention that we still do business with from the side hustle that are not really nice people. But then there's amazing people. And then Hollywood's this big thing, but then like one of our clients wrote Legally Blonde, the novel, and then was a producer on, and then wrote the second novel and produced the plays that offshoots, and like all they care about is like their kids. Like that's all they care about is like their kids and throwing a good time and making sure their kids are well-adjusted people. Yeah. He's one of the biggest investment bankers in the world. And they're just like these great couples, sweet people, amazing household. I mean, like they throw incredible parties. It's all kid parties, no booze, no nothing.
Oh, right on.
We did stuff for them for years. So to answer your first question though about this, sometimes it's like the lottery. Sometimes you're getting a bunch of work, sometimes you're not.
Yeah.
And we wanted to have a kid, and we were thankfully I was making good money as an actor. Carly and I were managing a ton of events. We were making some money there. And then we decided to start our own craft cocktail event company. So we started Mama's Medicine. And we started that with a guy named Giovanni Lopez, who's a working actor as well.
That's where it goes from. Yeah, Mom's Medicine.
Started in our houses, and we had relationships from this other catering company that there was a need, and we weren't competing with the catering company. There was a need to hire craftsmen for the bar and for these bar programs. So then we started getting clients, started doing weddings, started doing events, started bringing in money. We're working out of our apartments. And so that started to grow. When my daughter was born, I decided I'm only going to act and I'm only going to do Mama's Medicine. The day she was born, I didn't work another event for anyone else besides myself after that.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old were you when your daughter was born?
I'm 44. She's 5.5. So was that 39?
Yeah.
38,
awesome.
39, right? And so we start doing that. Now look, when Carly and I got together, we've both been in other relationships. We were getting out of those relationships. We got with each other. I had a 1999 C280 Mercedes that was broken down.
Nice.
I mean, broken down.
Yeah.
With so many tickets on it that I think it got repoed. Not repoed, but it got impounded. And I never went to get it.
Right. You set the scene for me. That's what,
I had $25,000 at least in credit card debt. I had maybe $1,000 in the bank, and she's worked as on Veronica Mars. She'd been series regulars on 3 shows. She'd been the it girl that she got replaced on because she was too young in Paranormal Activity. She started a charity that's like taking care of foster care kids. She's killing the game, and she's 9 years younger than me.
I need to ask her if she wants to come on, bro.
She should have been the one here. Yeah,
honestly.
I told you. I told you, bro. I told you.
Oh, man, yeah.
But she's like, I don't know if she's like looking at the minor league guy and going, you got potential. But she changed everything for me. Suddenly she's like, look, we're going to be together. Let's combine accounts. Let's start working on your credit card debt. Let's
nice.
Like we'll share a car until we can get you. You know, you can get a car. Not like she was sugar momming, but she was saying, let's start being a little more responsible with life.
Yeah.
And I'm playing the lottery. I'm like, let's just get by hand to mouth.
Right.
Credit cards, I'll kind of float them, whatever.
Yeah.
I still want to have a good time and do this. You know, if I get some money, well, cool. I book a big job, I'll do whatever. One day I'm going to be a star, right? That's like. That I don't think that leads you to stardom. I think that leads you to a burnout, like LA's chewed me up, spit me out kind of thing, right? And so suddenly we're eating into my debt, my credit. I actually have a credit again. I feel empowered to support her charity, to start my own business.
Yeah.
Dude, in like this, by the second year of our relationship, I have 0 debt. I have credit. I have a car. I have my own business. Like, she just needed to help me.
Yeah.
And she did that, and she pushed me in that way she didn't have to push me. She had to teach me.
Yeah.
And help me to have the platform to understand how to be a responsible human in that way. Suddenly, all the things that I was afraid of, if I was married or if I was in a serious relationship, I couldn't book work, or it wouldn't be serious because that would be more important. I booked more work than ever. I would book like a commercial here and there. I'm booking like commercials that are going to pay me 6 figures, right? I haven't like once. Let's not get crazy, but like a couple commercials, and I make, you know, let's call it 900. Let's call it 99,000, right? Not quite 6 figures, but I'm gonna exaggerate a little bit. Suddenly I have $100,000 a year as an actor.
Yeah,
I was having $25,000-$30,000 years as an all in.
And you were a professional
and
at that
I was
point.
balling, right?
Yeah, I'm going.
Right? And so like that was a shift.
Yeah.
Now look, the next year I think I might not have made that as an actor, but then I made it in the side business. So all of a sudden I started making money, and I was like, wow, I don't have to be.
Yeah, you started making accomplishments.
I was a responsible adult. I had insurance. But then when we have a kid, I've got health insurance, and all of a sudden it was like, wow, like this feels like real. Like life feels real, and that obviously a beautiful relationship outside of that stuff.
Right.
But she really, I attribute any success that I have, my parents and my wife.
Yeah.
Like it was from that. So
that's all. I'm right here, man. My wife at home, if it wasn't for her, like having my support in this, because like I said, we're
Are
really
you saying that because she might listen to this?
She will listen. So,
Okay,
yeah,
let's just get it out there. Go ahead and get it out there. Yeah.
We'll cut this 3 seconds out, but we'll keep talking. So yeah, man, I gotta give it to my wife. If it wasn't for her, really, like, because I gave her my plan when I was transitioning between like my main hustle, because this, like I said, this is all us. You know what I'm saying? This is me and my buddy. So anybody that reaches out to us, they reach out to us. If they don't, how you doing? Keep it moving. I only have one real option when it comes to this, is just to go. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happens from it will happen. But like I told her, I just didn't want to look 10 years from now. Like I said, I'm only 31. I had a kid a lot younger than you, but it doesn't mean, that doesn't mean like how it used to be back in the day. Like, you got to go work in the mines and just, go retire at 70 and that's it,
There's a great quote of a year from now, you'll wish you'd started what you started today, right? Or what you didn't start today, right?
And it's with 2020 being what it was, everybody has a little asterisk on there. Everybody pumped the brakes, but the starting line's open now. You know what I'm saying? With it being a new year and new possibilities, it's scary because we might start closing down. But fingers crossed. Keep everybody safe, keep everybody healthy. We'll be able to get through it. But like everybody's saying, the new saying is like, oh yeah, we're all back outside. Like, yeah, I'm outside, but I need to get off this porch. I need to go. I need to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can deal with no's, because no's fine. That's an answer. It's just the maybes that kill me. I need a definite answer. Let's keep moving, guys. Let's keep going. Create is my name of the game right now, man. And like,
there's
so many opportunities out here, bro.
I have a buddy, a guy named Ryan Stanger, who's big in I think he's big in podcast. He's got an R-rated podcast where they review 80s action films.
Oh, nice.
And it's a subscription only deal. And then he also has Dumbbells, which is this really funny fitness meets comedy meets.
Oh, awesome!
Meets,
I love all of those things.
Topical.
I'm a big
discussion.
Studier of like the comedic craft. Like I love looking at people's stand-ups and love listening to comics who act instead of like comedic actors. You know what I'm saying? Like.
And this guy's hilarious. He was a fullback at Cal with me, and I lived with him in LA. He's one of my best friends.
So you're in the Silver City, man. You're doing everything, and you're working on the catering and everything. And then what like made you like pull out a map, close your eyes, and say, Grand Prairie, Texas?
Literally, we knew that next step for us, everything we always talked about. Mama's was doing good. It doubled in business, tripled in business. And then we knew that we had a condo that we were living in. It's great. We got a daughter, but I'm looking at how am I going to pay for private school? And that would have been our choice in Los Angeles. But then we're like, well, we really wanted to get into a wedding venue. We want to find that. And it costs a lot of money to get into that. And especially in California. And so we're just open. Carly's parents, a neighbor came down and said, listen, the old fire station had another group that was going to go into it, and they fell out. And I know that their threshold, they're going to spend some real money on it, and they're going to accomplish the vision of that particular group, whoever wins it. It's an RFP, request for proposals. So sight unseen, nobody knows we're going to pitch on it. We pitch because Carly's parents were like, we want to see our grandbaby. You'd have to move to Texas or whatever. I'm like, shit, we ain't moving to Texas. We're not going to get this, but I'll do it, right?
Oh, so you thought it wasn't going to happen?
No, yeah. We just take the model, and for this place, we took the model of a bunch of pop-ups that we'd been doing, stuff we were into, shipping container kitchens, shipping container bars, outdoor space.
I love that, by the way, the shipping containers. Like,
it's
especially
so cool.
like how we talked about last time about like having to pop up the shops or whatever. That's brilliant, bro. Yeah,
it's cool, man. It's so many like people like the vibe. And so we have a design aesthetic. Carly and I together as like designers know what we like. We became, doing the Van Cleef and Arpels things. Attention to detail, tiny noticeable touches, as Alan Dunn would say. All the stuff that makes you go, I like this environment. So we looked at this thing on the map. We looked at it on Google Maps. We had our in-laws come and take pictures, but we didn't travel over to see it. And then we built a design deck. We built a pro forma. We built a business model. We built all that. We had 8 days before it was due in person. So we FedEx it, and it goes into the city, and then we went on vacation, whatever, with her parents on like a cruise or something, and we're like, you're never gonna get a call. It's all right. And we get a call. Next thing you know, we're hopping on a Skype call with the city managers, and we start talking about it. And next thing you know, they're like, this is happening, but kind of, is it happening? And so we took a year that was design, and we did a pop-up here. We brought in some Bullet Bourbon and Proof Media are friends of ours. We've done a lot of work with them there. They helped us do the pop-up. We painted murals on the inside of this thing. It looks, like I said, I love this place, yeah. And we did this kind of cool pop-up. Yeah. The city liked it. It was popular. And then we kept going down that path, kept making trips back. I was flying back and forth. We were still living in there all during that. And until we broke ground on this, we hadn't moved here. And so we were slow playing it, and sold our condo and moved here and lived with my in-laws for almost 2 years while we were here. And it was too much of an opportunity. So we knew that the city had a threshold. Definitely. We knew that the deal that we all came to, which allows us to, there's a purchase price that we can buy this at. There's a relationship with the city that they've been amazing to us, just amazing supporters. And all the people we've got to meet were like, well, this is too good of an opportunity for me to either stay just because of Mama's or just because of, which I have a partner, so that could go on, or just because of my acting. Right. And at that point I was, Carly and I had done some movies together, but for her it was like, when it comes, I'll take it. If I'm not going to go look for it. And then, I was getting a decent amount of work in Atlanta, so I was like, well, that doesn't really change it too much. And I was like, this is the choice that we have to make for our family. My wife is from Grand Prairie, so that was part of it. So we got somebody from here, right? And we're like, what a wild adventure, and like, we have to do it. So we started talking to, at that point, Chef Z had, we'd worked with her at that catering company, but she'd left the catering company, was doing something else. I'm like, and we'd done some side projects with her, and we're like, do you want to move to Texas? And she's like, I don't know, I might. So then we drugged her and put her in the back of a car and took her to Texas.
I've noticed the ball and chain on her leg.
Yeah, so, she ain't going. But
and that was my next question. Was who was the mastermind behind the menu? Was it mostly her, or was it a collaborative effort? Like
it was going, hey, we want this sort of barbecue Nashville hybrid because we knew Z. It's Z's menu. She wanted to do Nashville style hot chicken, and then we had a family member that was like going to be the pit master. And so we kind of married those two menus, and then he went off to do something else, and we kept some barbecue items that are just like our Gouda sandwich, which has chopped brisket, or we're doing our tacos or whatever. But it's Z's menu, and she's an amazing chef. She's the kind of chef that would do Van Cleef & Arpels 7 courses. She does Nashville hot chicken now, so she's just a beast of it. Yeah. Those Dirty Bird fries are phenomenal. That was an accident.
Every time I get those.
She just messed around and did that, and we're like, oh shoot,
throw that on the menu. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do this. So it was kind of a trial and error on some different things with her, and she's just so talented, and we all have good palates and know what we think will work. But and Grand Prairie embracing us and coming here and eating, and this place being busy. It's scary, man.
Yeah, man, it's Tuesday and we're bumping, dude. We're bumping.
It's scary though, coming down here in no man's land, and best before Zavala, like when we're inking this deal, Zavala's isn't down there.
Oh, shout out to my boss, Joe. I love you so much.
Joe, what's up, man?
Thank you for reaching out and everything you do, man. I appreciate you.
But Joe and I were talking about like him doing a pop-up, and he was getting ready to take it from the pop-up to the real thing, and we thought maybe he would be here. We thought he was just going to be weekends, and then there was no Zavala's in that real estate yet.
Yeah. So it was just like out of all the big things that you've done as far as like the catering and the acting and everything, this was probably, would you say this was your, not most fearful, but like you had a little bit of like hesitation towards, or like no?
Oh sure, man.
Yeah,
sure.
Like every new adventure, that's just got a little bit of scaredness.
I'd like say some prayers, talk to Carly, and then jump in most cases. Yeah. But this one was like,
And
this one's aged me more than anything because it's like, you don't know if you're going to have anybody show up. And then you don't know, okay, hey, these months for all restaurants are busy. You can kind of look at data, but all of a sudden the bottom drops out and the bottom line becomes a negative. And you're like, what happened this month? And so like becoming a business owner on this scale was huge, crazy. And we've evolved and we do events off site and we do bar events off site. And we're looking for, we're looking for another bar space and we're looking for expanding the events that we're doing and
just going up.
And we'd love would love to have a wedding venue one day because that would be really cool. But and then not denying Carly and I did a movie together in December. That's the second movie we've done together.
Nice.
And I got to work on a couple of movies since then as well that have come.
Right, you just went back home, right? You just went back home and did some shooting.
And got to work with Malcolm McDowell and Jeremy Pivott.
Phenomenal, bro. Two amazing people. What was that like? What was that experience?
It was awesome. I mean, Pivot, man, it's just like such a fast talking, smart guy.
Right.
And he's digging into this thing as this heavy, this Boston, like a-hole murdering heavy.
Yeah, and it's a period piece, right?
It's a racial crime drama.
Right, and it takes place when?
In the 70s, 1974 in Boston, and Terrence Howard's in it, and
I would love to go to those period piece movies just because of the cars. Even though it's just like a regular old sedan Plymouth.
I got to put my foot into a Nova.
Yeah, that was
70s
exactly
Nova.
What I was about to say,
oh
bro.
my god!
I want an old school Nova. Yeah.
It tore it up down the street.
Hell
I didn't think it was gonna you turn it on, and it's like.
I was like, oh damn, is this gonna get me around the corner? And then you just let it rip.
And then it just ripped. But
nice.
there was some real fun and like real generosity from the actors.
Yeah.
They were so sweet. And I'm just like, I'm like the muscle that says, that has like some jokes and a little bit of banter and like that kind of stuff with those guys. And I get to do a little bit, but you get to feel, that's what I mean about storytelling.
Yeah.
If I'm just like executing a line or two, there's no life.
Right.
But if this is my best friends and my boss and the guy I'm jealous of, and you build that whole world, you're immersed in it so that you don't have to do anything. He says something and I'm laughing at it. I don't have to make myself laugh.
That seems becomes pretty situational though, but I know that there's importance whenever it comes to call sheets and stuff. I know the big guys are usually up top there, but when it comes to making things and creating while you're filming and stuff, you're not Michael McDowell or Jamie Piven, but if you only have a couple, if you're only a one or two liner and you might have ad-libbed, you kind of have to take is it kind of like you just feel the set that day to where okay, I probably won't be able to say any extra lines, or I probably won't be able to be as free as possible.
Yeah.
How does that come about? Because I love seeing when people just create, because that's what I call it, just create out of the lines that we're given.
Here's the.
And I think we picked the wrong chairs. Feel kind of like cages. They're getting
it's all good. Okay. This is I just have to pee. This is the interesting thing about all that. I don't make my money on that movie.
Right.
I make some money on the movie,
right.
But my kid gets to eat because of this business, and my mortgage gets paid from this business. Mm-hmm. That is so freeing. Mm-hmm. I don't have to be friends with anybody. I don't have to pull any punches. I don't have to do anything. I remember I was working with Luke Wilson, and I'm his boss in a story, and we're rehearsing our first take, and I don't pull any punches. I'm tearing into him, and he's like, "Whoa, this guy's coming to play." But that's what I did: second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 10th take. Mm-hmm. Why? I'm there to play, pretend.
Yeah.
I'm not there to be your friend. Yeah. You're not gonna call me next week.
Yeah. Okay,
you're not gonna. We're not gonna be boys.
Yeah. You're gonna send it. Yeah.
I've got 2 days on this movie,
and I'm giving it everything I got.
And I'm gonna play for me and my artistry.
Exactly. Yeah.
And because that might be the last time I get to do it. So when I went to play on this, I've worked with this director before. He knows that I'm gonna bring what I'm gonna bring. And so, you know, there's guys working different ways, and you have to respect that to some degree if you want to get along with everyone in that way. But I didn't pull any punches, and I ad-libbed and I threw stuff out, and then the director says, "Oh, reel it in because you know that's a little too grim for what we're doing here. Don't cut his balls off right now, and play a little lighter with him or whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, cool," because you're going to edit it otherwise. So I got to find something that works for you.
And that's my point of view on that, on situations like that. It's like, well, I don't have. Either way, I know what I'm doing right now isn't gonna, like, the odds are 1 to 1,000 that this whole one take is gonna be just there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna chop, you're gonna slice, you're gonna dice. So
you know, look, we did a take with Justin Chatwin, who's the other side of us. Like, he's the good guy. We're the bad guys, and he came barging in this door, and I like kind of posted him up, and then he like shoved me and like pushed me back, and I hit this wall, and so he was in it. We were kind of fighting.
Yeah.
And then it was like there was some of the camera, so there was a cut or whatever, and he was like, he's asking, well, is that accurate? Like, would he do that to me? And I'm like, I mean, I don't care that you're a cop, you're coming here, I might shoot you.
Yeah.
Like, and they're like, well, you wouldn't do so much. And so then we had to have a conversation like, well, look, I'm gonna put my hand on you, like chop it off or do whatever you're gonna do. Let's work that. So this can be real because I don't think it's cool, okay, that you just barge in.
Right.
So now when he barges in and he chops my arm, well, just think about, he gets past me. Now I'm vulnerable to turning around and my boss just saw him get past me. I don't have to act. My boss is looking at me, just letting this asshole in, right? I don't have to act. Like, so it's playing and being willing. Like a junior actor, Jason, the junior actor, I don't know that I would have like collaborated with that way, but I as a responsibility to myself have to look at this environment, look at the space, and look what happens when I do this and I get this close to you.
And then we're just going to figure out what happens.
Different.
We're just going to keep going.
Right. What happens when you put your hand on me and I hold it?
And we're just going to just lock eyes and then get lost.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What happens, right? So that's the truth of like proximity of human beings. That's the truth of this space. What does this space hold for me? This space is the coffee shop.
Right.
I'm worrying about that secretly, or am I? These people are walking around. Like all of that stuff has to be taken into account when you go to play pretend. And I just think that if you play it safe or you do whatever, what's the point?
I'm not going to pull back the curtain too much, but how much of that is just, I guess, the customer service part of it? Because I love customer service. I love, like, going out and saying, hey, you guys need anything? Yeah, you good? I guess because, like, one of the, like...
Yeah, you got a big personality.
I love creature comforts. Like, I love, like... I love hosting, period. Like, I love just having people over and, like, cooking just... Because I can't cook for, like, me and my wife. Every time I cook dinner, I'm cooking for 8 people. And it's just me and my wife, and my son eats chicken nuggets. You know what I'm saying? So, I love hosting, and I like knowing, like, oh, well, you like this certain kind of wine.
Right.
Like, I love... Okay, well, I'm going to have that bottle just over here, and he's going to see it just like, oh, hey, I drink that. Yeah, you know, so I love the creature comforts and stuff like that. So I love being able to figure out, like... being able to go out there on that stage of like the service area, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I might just have an argument with my wife, but I know that I'm going to take care of these people, and they're gonna see that I care about them, and I don't care about, you know, what's going on with my son, that he just, you know, shot a pigeon, and like now the neighbors are freaking out because I think I got a sociopath, like whatever, you know. So yeah, I mean, that's just what, I guess that's what I consider my stage right now. You know what I'm saying? And of course, being able to make
different.
this,
it's acting, it's playing pretend that you're happy that you're putting on this face for this person, this face for that person. I mean, there's been some times when I am just like not at all interested in being a good host here at Firehouse, or being a nice person to that person that thinks that Nashville chicken's not hot enough and they want to complain.
It's plenty hot, by the way.
And they ate 5 bites and they want their money back, sandwich, or a new sandwich for more heat. I'm like, there's a level where like sometimes I'm not the guy for that, and I pretend to be, and I'm sure you see through as probably bad acting. You know, all of that is just part of it. Like, if I signed up to be the guy that you know, creates the culture of Firehouse Gastro Park and provides service and provides good drinks and has a coffee shop and all that, then I have to suck it up. Yeah. And I have to be that because that's what I signed on to. It's not like poor me.
Right.
I don't get to do this today. I don't want to play today. You don't have a choice but to play. You play.
And I want to get that in my head as soon as possible, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, you've seen my personality, I don't mind it, you know what I'm saying? I never met a person that wasn't a stranger, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm wanting to get that in my head because we all have days where it's like, well, shit, not today. I'm not Let's Eat today. I'm Joe. Like, no, like, if somebody, like, later on down the road, once I do have, you know, 1,000 views, millions of views on my videos, which will happen, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you gotta suck it up. Like, people are gonna know you from that. People aren't gonna know you from when you flip somebody off on the side of the road because,
dude,
you know what I'm saying?
and there's gonna be times when you come into an interview and you are like in a terrible mood and whatever, and it's like, or you just don't feel like it, or you feel tired or whatever, and it's not you don't get the luxury of that. Nobody does. Bill Maher doesn't get the luxury of that, you know.
Because if I wanted that luxury, I wouldn't be doing this. You know what I'm saying? It comes
you
with
got
it.
Yeah, there's no. This is professionalism, right? Your professionalism is caring enough to leave your stuff behind, and that's this restaurant and bar.
Right.
And there's lots of people that I'm happy to see, and all that stuff's great. And for the most part, look, there's such a bunch of inviting, sweet people here. But there are times when.
Oh yeah. So listen, man. Once liquor's flowing, who knows what can happen? You know what I'm saying? So, but once again, man, I just want to thank you for having the culture that you brought, you know, from the coast over here. Like you said, with live performances, live music now,
course,
man. Mama's medicine with all the fancy cocktails. I had the watermelon mezcal the other day. Like I said, I loved it, bro. It was phenomenal.
Thank you, man.
But like I said, I was just like, they were like, oh yeah, Jason made this, and they were. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like he looked it up or something. Like, no, like you, like, you know, shook it up and poured it in this. I was like, what do you mean? Like, what? Like, can you start a fire with like a bucket of water? What have you?
No, man.
I guess my question is, what have you failed at? Dang, like, come on, bro.
Lots of stuff, lots of stuff. Like, I try not to make the same mistakes twice, right? But I still do make lots of the same mistakes. Ask Carly. I think the creativity stuff and the outside the box thinking and the pushing it forward, and then the like being passionate about it stuff, that stuff comes easier for me than the stuff that Carly had to teach me and organize me on. You know, I had a business minor, but you wouldn't know it because I didn't have to use it, right? You wouldn't know it from my checking account when we got together. Yeah. But man, that like the stuff like the drinks and all of that, it's just like not being afraid for it to suck, right? And working on it and throwing it away, like breaking the mold. Like if I'm making pottery, break the mold, do it again. Break the mold, do it again. Break the mold, do it again. Oh, it's good, and maybe it has value now. Like that's it. I mean, I've messed up more drinks than have been successful, but I learned from a really great guy who's my partner in LA about drinks. I didn't know anything about drinks. I lied to get a bartending job, and he was the first person with me that time. So, like, you know, it's just trying to, I come off as a person with like a big personality and, you know, got it all figured out, kind of ego shit. But
I call you the Dos Equis man of Grand Prairie. Like the most interesting man in the world, but like of Grand Prairie, bro.
There are a lot more interesting people, but all of it is just like me trying to have fun. Yeah. Trying to do things well, and give my best.
I like you said well instead of like perfect, like, right? Perfect's not a thing.
Oh, there's
right?
no perfect.
No, right? And like that's the thing that I've been dealing with as far as like making this content and stuff, man. Like I'm okay with done. I'm not okay with perfect because it won't ever be like it's not attainable. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the thing about all of it is like we live in this such a world where everyone's like looking up everything to be right. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what this. No, you got that wrong. Here's what Google says. Instead of just being like, I'm wrong a lot. Yeah. I don't understand. Can you help me? What's that about? I mean, I feel like shit because I didn't ask you more about your life, but you were asking me so many questions.
No, I don't.
But like that's like, that's what we should be doing, is asking each other questions and learning and helping and whatever. And that's been a growth for me to like be wrong. Like it's okay to be wrong. Yeah. It's okay to be embarrassed. Exactly. And to be the butt of the jokes is more fun than being like getting it right and being quick, you know, with my response or whatever. Like laughing at yourself, like, wow, how free is it to like not have to be perfect and right, fully, you know, and fully and learn.
It's been a phenomenal day with you, man. I really appreciate it, man. What else can we expect from Firehouse Gastro Park? I said it right that time, Gastro Park.
You said it right. Look at you learning.
Trying. What's next for the park,
We're going to do more music. More and more music. We're going to keep doing ticketed shows.
Who do we have this weekend? Let them know. Look in the left side. Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on.
hold. Hey guys, what's going on? Let's Eat Media over here. We are at the Firehouse Gastro Park with the one and only Jason Allen Smith. The one and only, like I said, it's most interesting man in GP. He can
there's
start
a lot
fire.
of Jason Allen Smiths, I'll bet.
He can start. He can start a fire with a couple ice cubes, man. This guy's amazing. Like he can do it all, and you can dance too, right? You're a good dancer.
I shake my shoulders too much, my wife says. Rod Gator is this week. That's his real name. Rodney Gator on the 30th is going to tear it up.
Yes.
And then we got bands all day on July 31st. A lot of them are going to be from Grand Prairie and kind of like do this kind of Grand Prairie takeover, a bunch of fun old groups getting together. But Rod Gator is he's a beast.
Nice.
And that's a ticketed show on the 30th. And then, man, what else? We got music. Andrew Holmes has got an album release on August 5th. Sophia Anello. We got David Tribble coming back. Kirk Thurman is going to come back. DJ Snacks is going to do a Saturday for us.
So much going
Deep
on.
Blue Something at the Uptown. We're going to do a bar takeover, and Zavala's is going to do tacos for that.
Nice. Look out for those guys.
So it's just it's Mission Marfa, man.
So
I want more Marfa on Main Street than anything else.
More Marfa on Main Street, man. I love it. It's funny. I was speaking to the couple from Explore the Prairie, man, and we were just talking about cool, they're so cool, power couple, right? Like I said, and they're just doing it on their own accord. I thought they were some.
It's are they funded? They're they seem like Disney's behind them.
Right. I thought they were working with the city of Grand Prairie. I was like, are you guys undercover? Are you the ops? Are y'all just getting funded by it? And they're like, nope, it's just us. That's phenomenal. It's so crazy because we were doing all this filming and stuff with all these cameras, and then they made a little 30-second post on their phone, and it looks so cool.
Made it look awesome.
Yeah. But like I said, I just appreciate people like you and them for being a part of the Prairie and the Renaissance Prairie of what's going on out here.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, if there's people out there, I would just say, listen, Grand Prairie has a lot to offer, and we're all excited. There's a ton of intelligent, creative people here, and if it's film, if it's music, if it's culinary, Main Street's ready for it. So let's keep on.
We're about to head into the next part of the podcast where it's me and my boy Robbie over here. We eat some of the food.
Great.
What's your recommendations though?
You gotta have dirties, man.
Yeah,
you gotta have dirties.
Yeah,
y'all should split a dirty, man.
Oh, definitely. We split a lot of dirty things before, but that's a whole other subject.
That's a different deal.
Yeah, that's a different. Yeah, that's for part 2 of the podcast. Whenever you want to come back on,
that's
man.
That's the R-rated members only.
Yeah,
thing?
That's subscription only, so don't worry about that shit. No, man. Like I said, we're gonna just try some of the food, man.
Awesome,
tell people about it, and maybe have a couple drinks.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? But like I said, 1,000 thank yous for today. Just being able to sit and hear your story, man.
Thank you. I feel like way too cool for school, man. You got me in here being.
Yeah, right.
You got me in here people are looking at me funny, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So thank you, man.
It's an honor, man. Like I said, I can't wait to see what else we do here. If you guys need anything from me, I'm more than happy to help.
And if you want to just have Carly come in and re-record this and replace me with her, it's okay. I'm not gonna. My feelings aren't gonna be
this, the actual version, and then that one.
That was the rehearsal, and then Carly would do the interview.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
that sounds
better.
Like better. All right, cool. So we'll just cut all this. We can just
cut this out.
Here. Thanks, brother. Again, I appreciate you so much.
You too. Right, cool. Thank you.
All right, man. Let's get some food. All right. Oh yeah, it is. You already know, bro. All right, we're recording?
It's rolling.
Alrighty. Now it is for everybody's favorite part of the show. Robbie talks with food in his mouth.
Yes.
Hey, man. What's up?
What's up?
All right, man. So here's what we got today on the menu. We got 2 of the top sellers. We got the Gouda sandwich.
Gouda.
Reminds me of E40 from the Bay. Gouda.
Yeah.
Gouda sandwich, and then we got the, this is the half version, bro, right here. This is the half version of the Dirty Bird fries.
Dirty Bird fries.
Check them out.
Yeah.
So with the Gouda sandwich, it's got brisket, Gouda cheese, chipotle mayo on a sourdough bun.
Ooh, bomb.
It is a far out grilled cheese sandwich, and I want something different since we have some Dirty Bird fries right here. I want fried pickles.
Right, mix it up.
And then the Dirty Bird fries, they've got They're Cajun fries with Nashville fried chicken, dill slaw, comeback sauce. That sounds different. And some pickles right here on the side for accoutrement.
Comeback sauce.
Yeah, it makes you come back, baby. In
nice.
Spanish, we would call it a regresa sauce.
Right.
Ours, baby. And that was a great little combo, me and Jason.
Dude, yeah,
right,
that was a great
that was baller,
interview
bro.
with the owner, man, for sure.
Bro.
But
Shout
yeah,
out
we're
to
gonna.
Jason Allen Smith, bro. Awesome,
Yeah.
man. Shout out
Thanks,
to
Jason. Thanks for
Firehouse.
letting us use Firehouse, man, for our recording.
Shout out to Joe also for hooking me up. Joe Zavala. Check out everybody at Zavala's Barbecue.
Yeah.
Without them, I couldn't do any of this. Again, shout out to everybody there.
Yeah.
Man.
So we're
that's
out
what I
here.
always get, yeah.
Right. So we're out here in North Grand Prairie. We're out here at Firehouse Gastro Park.
Gastro Park. Ooh,
Gastro
I just
Park.
messed
Gastro
up.
Park. Yeah,
He
so-
called me out on that too. He's like, actually, it's a park. It's a Gastro Park.
It's not a pub.
But really, they have so many stuff. Like, there's so much room for activities outside, bro. I
Yeah,
remember
this place is really nice.
The
It's
first
huge.
time, very first time I came out here, they had a wrestling ring out here because around Cinco de Mayo, and so they have like, luchadors and everything. Bro, if you have the
Nice.
footage from that party,
That's dope.
shit was gnar, bro, for real. What you think of the Dirty Word fries? What you think?
They're good. That chicken's really good.
It's Nashville hot.
Yeah. I like chicken.
So it's a little different, you know what I'm saying? Not like spicy, but like a smoky spicy.
Yeah.
And they got the slaw on here too, on top. It's like chili cheese fries, but it's not chili cheese fries, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, that comeback sauce is good. Hold on, watch me come back. Oh yeah. But great shooting today. I think we went really
Yeah,
well.
man, really good episode. I really think it's gonna turn out really well.
Yeah, 100%. But man, we're really just pressing forward with it, man. You know, we're
man,
just
we
like we're out here getting it done.
Okay, here's my bite of the Gouda sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. Bro.
Oh, is that my piece?
Yeah, you can take whatever you want. I just took a little piece off the Gouda. It's nice and cheesy, nice and stringy. Oh, yeah. And then you can taste the brisket, too. Got a little bit of the sauce on it.
Oh yeah, that's good.
It's a chipotle mayo, that's what it is.
Oh,
I was like, what is the spice that I taste?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Phenomenal, bro.
This one's delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but these fries are killer.
But yeah, man, it's crazy how he was just talking about, like, nah, I just did it. Like,
Yeah.
that's how I'm trying to be, you know what I'm saying? That's how we're trying to be out here, you know? It's
That
just,
last one definitely gave me like way more motivation.
right?
Yeah. He was just like being real with it, and we were like, okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, you ain't gotta have it all figured out. But like, yeah, like you were saying too, you know, I'm not searching for perfection. I'm searching for done.
Nah, bro, like, I just wanted to be done. I want to be able to accomplish it, yeah. And that's all I feel like he's been trying to do is, like, man, just put something out, and then we can go on to the next one. Grasp onto all these
Yeah, like you were
opportunities.
saying too, he was like with the pottery, he was like, just break the mold. He's like, do it again. Do it again.
Yeah,
do it
I
again.
didn't even get to ask him. I didn't
Redo
even
it.
get to ask him, like, no, dog, you really doing pottery?
Yeah.
You know, I'll grab a nice little base. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna throw the
I
whole
took
room
ceramics in high school, bro. I took
I wish.
ceramics.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
But it was
that.
still cool. Yeah, I took it for junior and senior year. It was so funny. Her name was Miss Hoyness. I'll never forget the pottery teacher, bro. She was such a like earthly person, like very
hippie ass, artsy ass
yeah, super hippie.
Yeah.
But
Which reminds
she was
me,
so cool.
You took a lot of weird ass classes in high school.
I did.
Not
yeah.
to mention, how'd you get your athletic credit? Go ahead and tell everybody.
Bro, I got suckered into it.
Suckered. How'd you get suckered?
I played tennis for all 4 years in high school. I got played by one of my good buddies growing up, Jonathan Alvarado, suckered me into playing tennis.
That's who suckered you,
Yeah,
Tyrone suckered you in?
it was 8th grade. You know, we're filling out the form and stuff for like school, you know, what extracurricular activities you want to do. And he had like brought up the idea. He was like, yeah, let's play tennis. Like, he's like, I think sounds like it'd be fun or whatever. I was kind of like, all right. It was either that or ROTC.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Right. And I was like,
Ew.
nah, I'm not about to do that. And I was like, fuck, so I signed up for tennis. This fool changed it last minute on me and decided to sign up for ROTC instead. So,
What?
you know, shout out to Jonathan because I was a beast on that tennis court, though, you know.
Hey,
Played
the
all.
only brown man out there, bro.
That's right. Played all 4 years. You know, it was a sight to see. They were like, "Oh shit, Mexican playing tennis! I never heard of such a thing."
Oh my god.
But yeah, I got conned into it, I think. Kind of.
You got suckered into
I
it.
got suckered into it, bro.
At least conned into it, like the homie would have like stayed with you.
Right, yeah, I got suckered into it, but it worked out, man. I liked playing tennis. It was a fun ass sport, but
Yeah, like you just heard, football was my life back in the day. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And then after football, it was all about just working. And then we were just slinging pizzas after that.
yup, slinging pizza. I'm saying you were still playing football where we were slinging pizza,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
I was doing that shit in high school.
how my tennis career came along.
That's so crazy. It's funny because me and Chris were talking about that. I was like, no, this fool did like tennis back in the day. But I was like, but he was balling out there because he did it all 4 years.
Yeah, but go back on my ceramics teacher. She was super hippie. She let me make a bong in class. I'll never forget it. We were making
But,
coil.
like, did you tell her what it was?
She knew what it was. Yeah, so we were making coil vases.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, I'm gonna shape mine like a bong, you know. I'd seen a couple in class. I was like, those look like they could be bongs. So I was like, I'm gonna make one too. And I made it, and she thought it was so cool. She was just like super about it.
Oh yeah.
But then like I remember like a week later, because we were about to put them in the current Kieran or whatever it's called.
yeah, the big old oven.
Yeah, the big old oven thing. And then she comes up to me and she's like, hey, can I talk to you real quick? I'm like, yeah, sure, what's up? She's like, I really like your vase, you know, but everybody's saying that I'm letting you make a bong, you know. And I was, though, you know,
But
I
she
was.
was, yes,
I was,
yes.
though, because I had like the little hole in it for
Yeah, the
everything,
little
for the
down stem and everything.
bro,
Boy, look
done
at
out.
you. You an
And she was
engineer.
just like, yeah, you know, they keep saying I'm letting you make a bong, so, you know, I just need you to cover up that hole, you know. And she's like, but I like your vase, you know. I was like, oh, all right, cool. But, you know, my ass, fucking being the little mischievous person I was like, all right, I'm just gonna put a thin layer
Oh, so you just get
over
rid of
this
that
hole.
Yeah.
Then we cooked it, and I
Yeah.
just popped that hole out, bro. And it was legit.
And it
It was
worked,
more,
right?
and it worked, yeah.
Hey.
And it worked. But yeah, she was just like, I don't care that if that's what it is. She was like, but you know, everybody else is saying it, so yeah, I gotta have you change it. She's like, if it was up to me, I would have just left it. You know, I would have just made it anyways. You know. And I was like, cool, but yeah,
Shout out to the pottery teacher.
shout out to Ms. Hoyness, yo, supporting my dreams.
But yeah, man, this place is phenomenal. Dude. Like you said, there's so much live music going on out here.
Yeah,
Constantly, like every weekend.
yeah, it's coming up on this side of town.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like I said, it's the part of the GP Renaissance.
He said Main Street's ready for it.
Yeah, bro. Main Street is ready. I would really love to be able to have like a podcast for this place for the like just Jason, or like if we're lucky enough to do it, just be able to
Yeah.
interview the talent that comes in and out of here, bro. That'd be so
Right.
phenomenal.
Yeah, that would be cool. Maybe something we definitely should talk to him about. Seeing if we can utilize his backdrop for.
I like your sandwich.
I like it.
Yeah,
it's
bro.
good. I think it have a little bit more cheese in it though.
I thought the same thing. Maybe like combine the brisket with the 3 cheese grilled cheese
Maybe
sandwich
like
they have.
mix it up or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's solid. It's a solid sandwich.
And
But,
then of course I can't, like I said, I always love these Dirty Bird fries, dog.
but I'm a cheesy dude.
Yeah, bro. I'm such a fan of the Dirty Bird fries though. Every time.
The Dirty Bird fries are solid. And this will definitely be a good, like if you want something, good little starter, someone's gonna get you going, these Dirty Bird fries are where it's at.
Oh yeah.
Um,
So like we said, guys, Firehouse Gastro Park, phenomenal. Whatever you want to do, whether you want to get something to drink, you want a coffee because there's coffee house right behind us.
oh yeah.
You can get some great food. Or just have a chill ass weekend. You know what I'm saying? They got live music, all kinds of different things coming out here. I'm dying.
Relax.
I died. But it's still gonna be a great time for you. All right, Firehouse Gastro Park. Come check them out. This is Let's Eat. Thank you for coming by. Come see everything else we have to do in the future. Yeah, let's eat. We're dreaming from the truth. Bye.